I saw a clip on X/Twitter this afternoon with Lance Guidry, and I thought, is somebody posting this because, there's always the reporter in the room who asks kind of the oddball question because he's from, you know,
Louisiana,
the back end of whatever little hick town, and they got a player that made the team, so he wants to ask about him even though he's a non-factor.
Yeah.
But Lance Guidry was asked about our guy Poffenbarger. Did I pronounce that correctly? I'm not looking at the name right now.
Yeah.
And he just, of course, he's going to compliment him. He waxed poetically about him, but then I saw some other comments made on the topic, and then Terry's making a comment here. Does the guy have some legitimate talent?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's playing it's through 2 practices of spring in shorts and t-shirts and helmets. So read into it what you will. But he's clearly the number 2 right now. I know that Emery's working his way back after the arm and everything. Judd is Judd. And I think, a couple of years away from playing anyway. Apparently Ja'Cory Brown looking like he's taking a little step forward, maybe, possibly, making some good throws. He was, saying that it's the most comfortable he's felt, and people, who were at practice saying that Ja'Cory looked more polished and clean than he has before, which is the issue, and we all knew that. So I know it's only 2 days of spring, but even being able to have that known and a visible thing 2 days in the spring is a positive. But yeah, Poffenbarger, man, he plays with moxie. He made a couple big throws. Apparently made a big throw to Riley Williams on the sideline today. A couple other throws and plays and things. So yeah, he's looking like he can compete here. And that's huge because, I mean, yeah, we have 5 in the room right now, but yeah, you're hard pressed to find many quarterback rooms in their entirety at present that you would definitively take over Miami. Cam Ward, handful, maybe best returning quarterback in the country. Poffenbarger, multiple seasons of 3,000 yards. He had 3,600 yards and 42 tutties at, FCS last year. Emery started the game and he showed plenty of promise. Ja'Cory Brown is a transformer, and then, Judd is a kid who, as a sophomore in high school, averaged 19 and 13 in basketball and is a legit 6'6.5", 6'7" with plenty of arm talent. I'm not saying that you got 5 dudes that you feel comfortable running out there right now, but you'd be hard pressed to find a quarterback room like many that you're going to hands down take over what Miami has. Now, there are a couple, I could see where if you're like, hey, I'm taking Texas's room. They got Quinn Ewers and number 16, who has declined to be in the college football video game, who only is doing that based on the strength of the family legacy of the 7 names or 7 letters that reside on the back of his uniform. But whatever. If you want to say I got Ewers and I got that number 16 kid and whoever else they recruited this year, I would rather Texas's room. You want to say whoever Lincoln Riley has at SC, I prefer their room. If you even look and say Dylan Gabriel in his 17th year at Oregon and another developmental year for Dante Moore, plus whoever they signed at Oregon, maybe I'll take that room. And maybe there's a couple others that you might have in a conversation. But top to bottom, and especially the fact that there are 5 of them in the room right now, which I know is 1 more than optimal, but whatever. But 5 in the room right now with the quality it looks like at the top, and Poffenbarger showing he's more game than people might have thought. You're hard pressed to find a quarterback room in America that is full sail better than Miami.
What makes that difficult to evaluate is that, so take Ohio State. They've got 2 high 4 stars that were already on the roster. They just brought in 2 of the top 5 quarterbacks in the nation in this recruiting class. And then they brought in a more than serviceable, really good quarterback in Will Howard, who won a Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
But if the guy doesn't get hurt, meaning Cam Ward or a number of guys that you just mentioned, then that's your quarterback room because that's the
Right.
guy that's going to play, and he's going to play the only meaningful snaps. Now, so I would throw Ohio State in that mix, but
Okay.
they've got great depth. They've got
Mhm.
ridiculous talent and potential, but those guys aren't going to play. And if Cam Ward plays and doesn't get hurt, then that's your quarterback room again, to the point that there's only one guy that plays.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, you even like considering for that, like we've seen it in Miami. We've been in a position where that's not necessarily like the options available, and the chronology of those options leaves a lot to be desired. Like when Miami brought in Jake Heaps, you know, at 25 years old after he did his Mormon mission and it was at BYU and then Kansas and everything, it was like, is he going to play? And then, I mean, look, I have an affinity for Ryan Williams because he won a state championship at Miramar in 2009. I was excited to see, hey, maybe, and he started at Memphis as a freshman and then transferred home to Miami. I was excited to see that. He blew out his knee in a spring scrimmage or a fall scrimmage. And then, like, after that, it's like, okay, we got this baseball player, catcher, who's transitioning to football in Malik Rosier and Trinidad Brad Kaya. And it's just like, or Jake Heaps, and he's like the known commodity. And then Al Golden was just like, bro, we're going to go with the freshman kid. But like, when you look at that room at that state, you remove Ryan Williams, you have Jake Heaps, you know, unrated basically Malik Rosier and a 4-star Brad Kaya. Like, that's definitely not a position that, or a room that you feel as comfortable with as you would OSU, Miami, Texas, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is Jackson Dart and nobody else, not Jackson Arnold and nobody else. Things like that, like where the composition of everyone in the room makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. So I think that Miami's in a good spot with that. But obviously, yeah, we need the health of Cam Ward because as he goes, we go.
We haven't brought up the name Malik Rosier in quite some time, but I got to say, as soon as you say that name, I think that's so strange to me that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that he was the worst thrower of the football of any Miami starting quarterback, certainly since we've been doing this, in my estimation. But he played on, even if it wasn't the best team, and it was arguably the best team, the most successful Miami team since 2004-5 range, and he was the quarterback.
Fact. Yeah, it's if I lean on my musical background, the weakest cast member in the original cast of Hamilton was the guy who wrote Hamilton. You know what I mean? Like, and he like, look, I wrote it, I'm gonna cast myself and everything, but it was just like, bro, like, you see Jasmine Jones out there, Jonathan Groff, who was the son in a cast of stars, like Leslie Odom Jr., Christopher, I forget his last name, but like you had all these incredible talents, and they're rapping and singing and dancing and everything, and it's just like, I'm the guy who wrote it, so like, yeah, and it's like, and he was a passenger to the success of the collective in a similar way where I think that Malik, now, again, he did make some plays. He was able to persevere through and like, but like in so many ways that season, like he was a passenger to the success of the collective, especially because like that damn turnover chain that year was like an invincibility star from Mario. Like that thing came out once or twice a ball game and like just, yeah, we just hulked up and just like smashed everything. It was crazy.
You gave Mario that team.
Huh?
You just gave Mario.
No, like a invincibility star from Mario. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, these guys are so good throwing the football that even bad quarterbacks, they're typically bad in the Power 5 level. Typically, there are some rough guys to watch out there. The guy at Rutgers is a runner. He's not a thrower. There are a few guys out there like that, but most of them are so good that their problems are decision making. It's more about that they don't see what they should be seeing, don't make the right decisions, but they can all, again, I'm talking about like 80 to 90% of the guys in the Power Five can let it fly, let it rip, look great throwing the ball. And Malik Rosier just did not look comfortable throwing the ball and letting it loose.
Yeah,
Like half the
but
time he's like throwing the ball into the dirt, like 6 yards in front of Braxton Berrios. It's like, what's going on here?
Braxton Berrios still in the league. By the way, just want to point that out there for everybody who's still mad that we took him instead of Isaiah Joystick McKenzie out of American Heritage that year. Just wanted to say that. Just wanted to put it out there for my boy Brax and everything. But you are not wrong in your assessment, sir.
So before we say goodbye tonight, I'm going to throw a wild card at you since you brought up that assessment right there. Off the top of your head, your proudest discovery of a recruit, a guy that maybe was way under the radar that you thought, I like that guy. He's going to outplay his star ranking. He came through.
Wow.
Maybe we'll get back to this some other week. You can
let me put a pin in that one. There are a couple that I was very staunchly advocating for. I know because there were a couple that I've advocated more than others. I will have to look back at that.
I
Let
was
me
just
think on
curious
that
if
one.
somebody came to mind.
No, I don't have one. I mean, like, I don't have a firm one off the top of my head. I will have to sit back and think of like somebody who I was really like pounding the table for, and they ended up, paying off in that kind of a way. I will really have to think about it. But